Hey, welcome back to Cool Classics. Today we're going to look at the life and career of Richard Dawson. He was born Colin Lionel M. on November 20th, 1932 in Gosport, Hampshire, England. His father, Arthur M., drove a moving van, and his mother, Josephine Lucy M., worked in an ammunitions factory. As children, him and his brother John Leslie M. were evacuated during World War II to escape the constant bombing of England's major port cities in the South. Later in life, in a radio interview with Hogan's Heroes co-star Bob Crane, he recounted how this experience severely limited his school attendance. He said that he attended school regularly only for 2 years of his life. Now, when he was 14 years old, he ran away from home and joined the British Merchant Navy. During his time at sea, he spent time boxing on the ship, and during these shipboard matches throughout the years, he said that he managed to save over $5,000 from his winnings and betting on himself. Now, after having sailed all around the world from Nassau to Havana to New York back to England, he was discharged from the British Merchant Navy in 1951, and that's when he began his first stand-up comedian routine, but he took on a new name, Dickie Dawson. He says that he believes his first television appearance occurred on June 21st, 1954, when he was 21 years old. He was featured on the Benny Hill Showcase. It was an early BBC television program focused on introducing artists and new acts. He said that he never did see it appear on TV, and he never, of course, saw it in any sort of reruns, so who knows if it's out there. The same year, he appeared on a few radio shows, such as Midday Music Hall and How Do You Do? In 1958, he appeared on the television show From A to Z. Each day, the show would feature entertainers based off of a different letter of the alphabet. That day, they were on the letter D, so they brought out Dickie Dawson. And later in the show, they brought out Diana Dors. He said, "Oh boy, was I taken with her, and luckily she didn't hold my childlike stage name against me. I asked her out, and within a year, we were married. Of course, I did change my name to Dick Dawson. That might have helped." In 1962, he was in the classic war movie The Longest Day. He played a British soldier, and he was uncredited. And in 1963, he played in Promises, Promises, which was a Jane Mansfield sex comedy before they had the decency ratings and they could get away with a little bit more. Again, he was uncredited, and it was a very small part. That same year, he appeared on television on the Jack Benny program, Season 13, Episode 15. He was an audience member seated next to Jack, and you really can't recognize him at all. He's wearing glasses and a fake mustache, but if you look and listen closely, you can tell it's him.
Evidently, this Bygraves fellow is a comedian.
Yes, and they say he's very funny.
Oh.
I beg your pardon.
Yes, sir?
I trust you won't think this rude of me. Are you quite comfortable?
Yes. Yes, I am. Thank you. You know, you English are so nice. Really, here's a perfect stranger, and he's interested in my comfort, you know?
Are you sure you're comfy?
Yes. Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
You're sitting on my hat.
Sorry, I didn't know it was there.
Thank you. I only wish it had been my umbrella.
Now that was pretty good. Now check this out. The same year he appeared on the Dick Van Dyke Show, Season 2, Episode 27. It's a pretty funny one. Go look it up after you finish this video.
You know, most of the English stars are not actors or comedians. They're people who do bird impressions.
Bird impressions?
Now, don't get emotional, buddy. Rob, I do this naturally, in the throat, without the aid of any artificial thing in my mouth at all. All right? A few well-known bird calls. Just a moment, excuse me. Thank you. Secondly... Secondly, it's something just a little different, as we say in the bird world. It's quite an unusual bird, and I think you'll be amused by its introduction.
As you can see, he already had his routine down, man. He was good. So it's no wonder that just 2 years later, he tries out for the role of Corporal Peter Newkirk and lands it on Hogan's Heroes. Now, the character of Newkirk was a con man, a magician, a pickpocket, a card shark. He could forge stuff. He was a bookie, a tailor, a lockpicker, the safe cracker. I always liked when they were cracking the safes and listening to it and stuff. Now, the producers of Hogan's Heroes say what really sold them was his performance in the movie King Rat, which came out earlier in 1965. It's a war movie. I've never seen it. I need to, because if they liked his part, I'm probably going to like it too. But I'm going to say what sells me on him is his comedic delivery. Now, a couple things to note while on Hogan's Heroes. This is when he first started using the name Richard Dawson. So no more Dickie, no more Dick, it's just Richard. And in 1967, his second year on the show, he got a divorce from his wife, Diana Dors. And also, he appeared in 168 episodes. He went from start to finish of the series. Now, after Hogan's Heroes ended, he appeared on television shows and in movies, but he also put out a single. It was a 45, so there was a song on both sides, and it was psychedelic music.
Apples. Oranges. Orange and red. Hang high overhead, so high and so far, far away.
He also did a stint on the game show Can You Top This, along with Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, but that show was canceled in 1973. But lucky for him, Mark Goodson, who was like the game show pioneer, signed Dawson to appear as a regular on the Match Game, alongside Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley, and host Gene Rayburn. I mean, think about that. Charles Nelson Riley and Richard Dawson on the same show. How could you not like it? Now, Richard became a hit on the Match Game. The contestants would frequently choose him to participate in the head-to-head portion of the show's bonus round. So when Mark Goodson began development on a spin-off game show, Richard wanted in. But Mark was real hesitant on this whole idea. He said, "This might be too much for you to be on both shows at the same time." And Richard said, "I can handle that." And then Richard's agent said, "Well, if you want, we can quit the Match Game and just do this one." And Mark said, "Hey, hold on. Don't get that carried away. Let's come in, let's work on the show and see how it develops." After a few months of perfecting the game and getting the system down, they went ahead and debuted on July 12, 1976 on ABC, The Family Feud. To say the show was an instant hit is actually an understatement. It only took 1 year from its debut before it started to beat the Match Game in the ratings. By 1978, Richard Dawson was the star of both shows, which led them to change the rules of the Match Game. They brought in this thing called the Star Wheel, which affected his being selected all the time for the head-to-head match, and that was done because the other people on the show were like, "Hey, we can't get any time here. He's taking up everything." So at that time, Richard decided to leave the Match Game and focus solely on Family Feud, which he did, and he ended up winning a Daytime Emmy Award for the Best Game Show Host. Richard was a hit, the show was a hit, and he even earned himself a new nickname, the Kissing Bandit. And this is because he developed the tradition of kissing all the female contestants. Now, the television executives didn't like this, so they asked him to stop. Well, Richard was upset about this request, so he went ahead on the next episode and he asked the viewers to go ahead and write in and let the studio know, should he stop kissing or go ahead and keep on with it? The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within 1 week, they had over 200,000 letters pour into ABC. Once they started sorting through the letters, it became very clear. The vast majority of the people were in favor of the kissing. So the next episode, Richard went on there and explained to the audience the results of all the letters. He also said that I kissed the contestants for love and luck because this is something that my mother did to me. She would say, "Good luck, honey," and she'd give me a kiss. Or she would say, "I love you," and give me a kiss on the cheek. That's all it was. Now, right after all this Kissing Bandit hoopla, the ratings went through the roof. Richard was invited to sit in for Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show for 14 episodes. So Richard appeared on the Rowan and Martin Laugh-In for 58 episodes, the Match Game for 1,279 episodes, and the Family Feud for 2,334 episodes. That's just an amazing career. Now, a couple more older things you might want to go find him and check out. He was on the Outer Limits episode The Invisibles. He was credited as Dick Dawson. In 1964, he was on the Alfred Hitchcock Hour episode Anyone for Murder. And don't forget his final movie role. In 1987, he was in The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sadly, Richard passed away June 2nd, 2012 in Los Angeles, California at the age of 79 from complications of esophageal cancer. Man, he was great. And so were the other actors who played on Hogan's Heroes. I've been making videos on each person, going down the list. I got quite a few up there. Click a card above, it'll take you right to them. Don't be scared to subscribe. You don't want to miss out. Cool classics.